From the Denver Broncos Media Center, welcome to Broncos Country Tonight with Ryan Edwards and Benjamin Albright.
Welcome to Broncos Country Tonight. Benjamin Albright off today. Thrilled to be joined in studio by the great Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater. What up, Steve?
What up, R. Edwards? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too. We had a lot of fun hanging out, watching the rookies over the weekend. Rookie minicamp was here. Got to see the drafted players, some undrafted players. Let's start here with what your observations were on the top two guys, right? The second rounder there, Nik Bonitto. The third rounder in Greg Dulcich. I thought both looked really good out there. And again, I know it's a lot of drills. It's not like they're asking to tackle anybody out there. But Greg Dulcich was more or less catching everything, and he showed the great anticipation in his routes as well as his catch radius. And then, of course, Nik Bonitto just looks like a star out there. So what did you see from those guys? Yeah,
kind of the same thing. Nik Bonitto moved around really well, I thought. And we know that's one of his strengths is just his speed, his agility, his ability to get to the quarterback quickly. I think one of the things that he'll be focusing on is making sure that he can contain that run and hold up when those big offensive tackles are trying to push him all the way to the sidelines. As long as he stays outside of them, we're good because we got guys coming from the inside. And yeah, Greg Dulcich, man, he looked great, man. Had his socks pulled up high, had the kind of the short shorts, the kind of shorts we used to wear back in college, man. I think he's gonna be a playmaker, man. Just seeing how he moves, how he operates, his confidence level. I like it a lot. Now, obviously, no pads on. We won't really know until there's some competition on the other side of the ball. But I got high hopes and high expectations from both of them.
Nathaniel Hackett in the Behind the Broncos video talked about how Greg Dulcich represents a kind of player they don't have on this roster currently. When he says something like that, what does that mean to you?
Well, they see a guy who they feel has a ton of talent, and again, the confidence. I think he has the confidence that's, not necessarily, usual for a rookie coming in and knowing he's competing. He hasn't been given the tight end spot, but just from watching him practice, I imagine he's going to get a significant amount of playing time. And he's going to help this offense. He's going to help that tight end room.
Yeah, and it seems like his skill set can be something that maybe even can help in his rookie year. Sometimes we have a difficulty projecting what the rookies can do in their first year. Usually you're a rotational guy unless you're drafted in the first round. Then maybe you're expected to start a little earlier. But if you're a guy drafted the second round and later, it's like, okay, well, you work into a rotational opportunity. Maybe you're a special teamer early on. But Greg Dulcich seems like his skill set, especially for an offense that wants to be able to go up-tempo at times, an offense that wants to be able to move the ball, score a lot of points this year. They want to bounce back from what they've been. It feels like he could work into rotation pretty early, if not maybe even by a starter at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, I've seen guys come in and they look great, and then for some reason something happens. Either they get injured or they can't pick up the playbook or, just don't have that vibe with the coaches. Hopefully none of those things will be an issue with him. Again, everything looks perfect right now. But again, we've all been around this game for a long time and know that different things go on, and there are different difficulties that come up, and how he's able to handle that adversity will tell a lot about him, and we'll notice that here over the coming months.
All right, so let's get to some of the other draft picks out there. Montrell Washington jumped out to me,
yes,
and
sir.
I know that you and Ben had talked a lot about Montrell Washington, how excited you were to see him. Well, we'll get to the other guys, but Montrell Washington definitely popped.
Yeah, definitely popped. He's a guy running those routes. He's got the shifty feet. He's got good hands. I saw him go down to the ground and catch a couple of balls, jumping up in the air, high pointing them. All the things you want to see in your receivers. But again, he's going to be going up against Pastor Tan, Ronald Darby. He's going to be going up against some great cornerbacks. And once we see how he's able to handle that, then we'll have a much better idea of, how much he'll be able to contribute this year. But I got a sneaky suspicion he's going to be on the field. So.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I liked his answer. He was sort of asked about making it to the NFL and how does it feel if there's a moment it's sunk in, and he's like, to be honest, I haven't really felt like I made it yet. I feel like I need to show that every single time. And again, there's no wrong answer there. So for the guys that ever answer it like, yeah, it sunk in on draft night because that's what Inioma Wazirike said, is
he's expected to be here.
Yeah, right. I mean, so there's a little bit of that probably
he's 6'6", 320 too, you know.
So yeah, it's a little bit different deal. But like for Montrell, who didn't expect to be drafted and thought he'd be competing as a UFA, to be taken in the 5th round shows that the Broncos believe highly in him. I also liked Dwayne Stukes sort of talking about how Coach Azzani had said, hey, you should go check this guy out because he could be a good special teamer for us. And Dwayne Stukes, who's trying to build a culture of special teams, immediately said that this is a guy that could impact the team.
Yeah, that's great that Coach Stukes had the respect for Coach Azzani to really take a deep look and a true look and really give him some consideration. And man, he saw the same thing that I saw, and I'm sure you saw on film too, man. A guy who he's a gritty guy. He plays with a lot of heart, plays with a lot of confidence, and he makes plays. He makes plays in big time situations, and that's what you need, especially for a kick returner. You need a guy who's fearless out there, and those balls go up so high. And one of the reporters asked him, "Will it be different in the NFL because the punts are so much higher?" Well, he said he's already worked with some punters from the NFL. He's gotten the high punt, so I don't think it'll be an issue for him catching the punts. He won't be catching punts on the 4-yard line. Hopefully he won't. Come on, Montrell. He'll let those things bounce into the end zone. But, I'm looking forward to a new era of, our special teams being a part of us winning games.
Oh, 100%. And, listening to Dwayne Stukes, the special teams coordinator, talk about it, you're just like, I want to play special teams now. Like,
we can't do it.
Not me particularly, but, just in general. But, I have to imagine it is going to be different. I want to know from you and your experience. Again, you were drafted in the 1st round. I don't know how much special teams you had to play.
A lot.
Okay. All right.
I told you, man. Kickoff team, punt team. Punt return, well, not as much punt return because when the returners would come in, I wasn't one of the gunner control guys, so I came out on punt return. I was happy for that. But, yeah, kickoff team, punt team, and then, right after special teams, you got to go out and play defense.
So, okay, I love that. So this is a great conversation for you, too, is sort of creating that culture of special teams. Like, he wants to have guys knocking on his door to come play special teams rather than him having to chase people around the facility saying, hey, man, we need help with special teams. I need your talents. I need your abilities. He wants to create that culture. How do you do that? You take a lot of players that were stars at their respective colleges, and they were the best player in their history of their high school before that. And all of a sudden they get to the pros, and all of a sudden you're telling them, hey, you know what? There isn't a lot of room for you to make the field as a defense or offense. We need you on special teams.
And you find out who really wants to play football.
Yeah.
Because if a guy doesn't want to play special teams, and especially if he's not a starter, bro, you have to play special teams if you're not a starter. If you're not, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why am I not playing special teams? Mm-hmm. Even we had defensive linemen running down on special teams. Harold Hasselback, great, having a great career, man. Harold, helped us out on defense as well. But I remember him running down on kickoff team. Couldn't believe it, man. He was like Hercules running down there.
That's awesome, man. But I guess a little bit of that, and the way Dwayne Stukes talked about it, which I thought was great. And we know that this draft class is really representative of their anticipation of being better on special teams. A lot of these guys are going to be playing on teams. But, so the way he sort of talked about it was going all the way back to his college days and how that was one of those like, hey, if you want to see the field in anything, you got to play special teams and you got to be good at it.
You do, because, if you can't, there will probably be some guys who are starters who will play some roles here and there on special teams as well. But, man, if you're not starting, you've got to. If you're going to make this team, you got to play special teams, and you got to do it with that same enthusiasm you would do any other position. If it were a safety position or a linebacker or receiver or whatever. Rod Smith, the same thing, man. He used to fly down the field on the special teams. And guess what? He earned the respect of everybody on that team. TD. Same thing. Ran down on the kickoff team.
Very famously.
First one down there. I don't know how he beat Rod Smith down the field, but hey, we'll talk to Rod. talk to him later about that. But
happy birthday, Rod, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday to my brother. It was yesterday. But anyway, TD ran down, made that play, and guess what? I think that may have been the last time he ran out on kickoff team. He started running back after that.
Yeah, it's a good example. And they want to build that culture. Starts with having success. I think it's a success around the organization, though. So I think that's part of it. So as much as Dwayne Stukes is trying to build that one special teams, I think if there's a buy-in all around to what this team is doing, there won't be a lot of, kind of come back to accountability, right? There won't be a lot of this, well, I'm out for me. This like, no. I want to help this specific team win games.
And not only that, it's like when offense and defense is on the field, guess what? Everybody's on the sideline watching the game intently. Hey, when our special teams were on the field, we would be lined up on the sideline looking to see who was going to make a play.
Love that.
And they come off, we high-fiving them. We were hyped just as hype because that's just as important as the other stuff that's going on. And, I'm thinking Coach Stukes is going to build that same culture. I see the fire in them. The guys, they're going to be hyped up to see the guys run out there on the kickoff team, punt team, on the return team, the gunners, jamming those guys all the way to the line outside, out of bounds and landing on them out of bounds. I used to love that stuff, man.
That's awesome. Steve, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Ryan.
You'll be here all week.
All right. We'll be
very excited.
I don't know about all week, but
okay. We'll see. The great Steve Atwater. I'm Ryan Edwards. Thanks for watching Broncos Country Tonight.